Ball State SportsLink's third Down Chirp is presented by Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Log on to papajohns.com today for more info.
For 3 years, our star has been rising in a galaxy of future champions. A red and white star that has continued to burn brighter, hotter, stronger. We've set new records and new expectations, but we've yet to reach our destination. That's our mission now. To rise to a new level, to settle unfinished business, to raise a trophy signifying the arrival of the Cardinals once and for all, to finally make history together. One team, one mission.
Cardinal fans, we no longer have to wait for Ball State football because this weekend, Coach Limbo and the Cardinals return to Schumann Stadium, which also means our award-winning, Emmy Award-winning Third Down Chirp returns, and we're back and rolling. Hello, everybody. I'm Luke Martin, joining you again for year number 2 as host of 4th year for Third Down Chirp, alongside Tyler Bradfield, who is back as well, and the new guy, Connor Onion. Connor, it's great to have you guys. I know the fans are ready for Ball State football, but we are as well.
If we're ready, if the fans are ready, I can guarantee you the players are ready. It seems like yesterday the GoDaddy Bowl was. I'm ready to get going here.
Well, it's been since January since we've seen football at Schumann Stadium and with the Cardinals, so it's great to be back. And Ozzie Mann's replacing a legend at quarterback. I feel like I'm replacing a little bit of a legend too. Big shoes to fill with Zach Hughes gone, so let's see if I can live up to the hype. I'm glad to be here talking football.
I think that's going to be the major storyline. People are going to be watching if Connor Onion can replace the great Zach Hughes. But what better way to start off the show than you heard a speech from our own football coach, head coach Pete Limbo, getting you excited for the upcoming season. But Coach also had his first of many weekly press conferences to come earlier this week, and here is what the head coach had to say heading into week 1.
One of the things that we pride ourselves on is just primarily staying focused on ourselves. And when you look at teams that have success in week 1, regardless of who they're playing, it's often the teams that minimize their mistakes and don't beat themselves, don't put the ball on the ground, don't have a lot of penalties, don't make some of the silly mistakes that get you beat in college football. So that's always been our focus. We always take these opponents one at a time, but again, stay more focused on ourselves and try to make sure that we go out there and play our very best, whether it's week 1 or week 12. So, but just overall excited to see this group of players get out there and represent Ball State. They've been a great group to work with this offseason. Obviously, as you guys know, we have a lot of new faces in the lineup, a lot of guys that will have much bigger roles to play on this team, and we'll have to embrace those roles for this team to be successful. But they're anxious to make their mark, and I'm anxious to see them do it.
Coach Limbo there, guys, talking about what it's going to take, not just to be successful this weekend against Colgate, but also the rest of the season. But now we're going to start our opening drive like we do every Third Down Chirp show. But this week, It's more of a storyline we're going to watch develop throughout the course of the season. Tyler, for you, as we begin week 1, what's a storyline you got your eye on?
Well, for me, it's all on the defensive side of the ball, and can the defense build on the success that they started to have last season? They really put an emphasis on gaining turnovers. In the MAC, they were plus 12 in turnover margin, which was 3rd in the Mid-American Conference. A key, though, for Ball State's defense, can they stay healthy? Because they return all the pieces. 4 of their top 5 tacklers from last season are back, but can they stay healthy?
Well, there are also some new faces on the crowd on both sides of the ball, not only personnel-wise, but on the coaching staff. You look on the offensive side of things first. Joey Lynch takes over as the offensive coordinator full-time. He was the tight ends position coach throughout last year, but in the GoDaddy Bowl, he took over and was the offensive coordinator for that game. The offense a little bit stagnant, but now he has a full offseason to take the guys under his wings, figure out the quarterback situation, and that should help the offense moving forward now that he has had a full offense to develop and perfect his craft in that position. And on defense, bring Kevin Kelly over from Georgetown as the defensive coordinator, and you lose 3 starters on the defensive line, but schematically, not much has changed on that side of the ball.
And no doubt we heard Coach Limbo talk as well in that weekly press conference that new coaches, new faces, but also they know each other. So they do have a history, even though they're all kind of back together, as well as John Strollo on the offensive line. Coach Strollo is back for his 2nd year with Coach Limbo here at Ball State. For me, it's a new face of the program. I know it's the obvious one, watching that quarterback position, how Ozzie Mann continues to produce. But really, it's more of, can he get some help? You know, when Keith Winning took over way back when, it seems like we've had him every year since we've been here, which we have. But it's going to be really interesting. Can Kevon Maybon step up? Can Jordan Williams step up and help out his quarterback? And even Juwan Edwards from that standpoint, I think he's got some skill guys to help out Ozzie Mann. I think he does. I think there's going to be some pretty good skill guys to be able to dominate and help out Ozzie Mann at that quarterback position. Speaking of the skill guys, one of our own here at SportsLink and a part of the Ball State football team, wide receiver Aaron Hep, took one of the SportsLink cameras out the Fan Jam with them, and he created this special all-access look called, what was it? Hep Camp.
This is Ball State wide receiver Aaron Hep at Fan Jam. And this is the Hep Cam. This here is number 12, Kyle Schmidt, the biggest punter in the MAC. Got some big arms on him, but Kyle, how's your Fan Jam going?
You know, it's really good to see all the fans out here. I'm really excited to see some new faces and everything, and hopefully put on a show for the little guys.
So you cheer us on. Now, can you teach Kyle and I here a cheer? Yeah. So, since you two are taking so long and Jack to decide the quarterback position, who's going to be there, people are starting to murmur that Aaron Hep's got a real shot. Ready, 4-2. Check tuna. Check tuna.
I believe it. I believe it. No.
He's got a good arm, and he looks good.
Great arm.
Great arm?
Great arm, great accuracy.
Well, Jacob and Lucas, can you tell me just how you were feeling in the bounce house?
Good. Oh, what's that? I do like this.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, he was. It's Fan Jam. It's almost football season, baby. Woo! Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Ozzie Mann, the Bill, ladies and gentlemen. Ball State cornerback now, EP. I'm just going to come out and say it. You can't cover me.
Film doesn't lie.
Follow me. I'll walk you to my locker, the 80 block. Now, right here, we're in Aaron Hep's official locker, number 80. I keep making myself sound like I'm this important, which I'm not, but this is my locker right here. See, we got the helmets up here, keep shoulder pads up there, shoes, things like that. Kind of messy, let's close that. We don't want people looking in there.
I'll tell you what, we've got a great crowd. You guys seem like you're having a good time, which is important. And the weather's cooperating. People look like they're having a good time. So far, so good.
Yep. Now, Coach, people have been making a lot out of the quarterback battle. here on our football team, and I'd like to point out that I happen to be the Army Scout team quarterback last year. So, what are my chances?
0.0.
That's.
And you better watch it because you may not play anywhere else either.
Oh man, I better not bring that up ever. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Let's go. Ball State. Let's go, Ball State. Let's go, Ball State. Let's go, Ball State. There you go. Arms down. Woo! That was good.
Pretty good. Thanks, guys.
Looks like Coach Limbo has a lot of faith in his Army Scout team quarterback there, fellas.
I like where he's doing the check tuna thing. I like that.
That was a good one.
You better not press any of Coach Limbo's buttons, because I know he wants to see the field this year.
Yeah, he's going to want to see the field. Once again, huge thanks to Aaron Hep for going out to Fan Jam and doing that all-access look. It was also produced by Torey Fox and Tyler Bradfield. I know that was a lot of fun for us to watch as the whole Fan Jam situation unfolded. Great job by Aaron Hep. Well, we know that Ball State is playing this weekend against Colgate, but there's also 11 other games on the schedule, and now we're going to look at that 2014 schedule. I understand this is the moment where coaches probably mute the TV and fans turn it up because this is the stuff that fans want to hear. Well, at least we hope. We hope that people are actually listening to us for this segment. So, Tyler, for you, what is one game you're watching this year in particular? I know you're watching them all, but what's one game when you look at that schedule up there on the screen that you are really looking at?
Well, mine's later in the year, and it's on the second half of the column. It's October 25th when Akron comes to town. Ball State last year didn't really have too many problems with the Zip when it was up there in Akron, Ohio. But remember, the Zips are a team that continue to improve each year under head coach Terry Boughton. They only lost to NIU and Michigan by 1 score each. Also, it's here in Muncie at Schumann Stadium, a place where Ball State didn't lose a game last season.
Well, I'm looking at one. How can you not talk about this one? It's the Bronze Stalk Battle. They're talking about this one all the way from Orange County, California to Ithaca, New York, all across the country. They're getting ready for this one. It's a divisional game against the Northern Illinois Huskies in early November. The Cardinals haven't beat NIU since 2008, guys, and a lot of that has to do with who's been playing quarterback for the Huskies, and that's Jordan Lynch and Chandler Harnish. Those two guys, they're gone. New quarterback in for the Huskies. It's time for the Ball State defense to exercise those demons and the nightmares they've been having of those two guys under center. And why not do it on national TV on your home field against a divisional opponent?
How could you leave out Los Angeles, California?
Sorry.
I think they'll be watching out in Cali as well for that big game.
Love for Orange County. Come on.
Love for Orange County. I'm going to be looking at the first MAC game of the year, and it's against Toledo, September 20th. And the reason I'm looking at this game is not just because it's the first MAC game of the year, but really, when you look at two programs in the MAC that are almost similar in recent years, it's Ball State and Toledo. They're both almost eerily similar. If you look in the mirror, they're almost exactly alike. They see each other in the mirror. I think Coach Limbo, they've had so much late game magic against Toledo, especially the past couple of years. Past 2 years, they've needed those fourth quarter late comeback drives, including the one in the Glass Bowl 2 years ago when they upset nationally ranked Toledo on election night across America. That was a huge win for Coach Limbo that really propelled them to a bowl game, the first bowl game in the Limbo era. But also, you combine the last 3 years, fellas, and you look at the score between all these games. The score is Ball State 93, Toledo 96. This is a very competitive series. It's going to be an extremely competitive game. I think why you're looking at it, too, it's the first MAC game. So getting off on the right foot is huge. And you know Toledo's got that game circled because they're tired of those fourth quarter comebacks. They're going to want a fourth quarter comeback of their own. And one guy that may be a target for the offense in Aussie Man on a fourth quarter late comeback will be Sam Bruner for our Slice of Life segment here on Third Down Chirp. But Coach Joey Lynch has got to replace that huge void at the tight end spot in Zane Fakes. And even though Zane and Sam Bruner look pretty similar, you may not even know there's a difference, but there are some key differences. And Connor Onion caught up with Sam Bruner at practice this week and dove into the Michigan native's life.
Sam Bruner, redshirt sophomore, tight end, Romeo, Michigan. Played offensive line in high school, so the stuff that I do, I think in the run blocking game, kind of really sets me apart. And it's one of those things that I think allowed me to get on the field more than anything else last year. Zane did so well, and there's a lot of stuff changing in our offense. I think the biggest thing for me is to just come in, every day, get a little bit better at something, whether it's, running routes here, catching the ball, getting my head play side on certain plays. It's one of those things where, I was a former track guy in high school. It's one of those things where, if when you're throwing and you add up, you add an inch here every day, you turn around and you look back and you say, I got a lot better over the course of the season. It's just improving, making slight improvements throughout the year. I might not be able to bench the world, do all that stuff, but I think I can get my full, my entire body to kind of, sink all at once and to be able to do some explosive stuff. We're kind of the wild card. We can do a little bit of everything. We split out before, we go in the backfield, we're off the ball, leading up through the hole. We can do a variety of things with that position, and the defense doesn't necessarily know what we're going to do. If you put a fullback in the game, you know that more than likely he's going to fill a hole, or if you put a receiver in the game, more than likely, you have to worry about him in the passing game. But with us, we kind of give a versatility to the entire offense as a whole, where they might not necessarily know what we're going to be doing. That game when we beat IU my freshman year, we were fortunate enough to be able to travel down there all as the redshirting freshman group, and just to be there to watch that last second field goal was really cool, and that's something I'm going to remember for a long time. I decided pretty late in the process, and it was just one of those deals where I thought it was my best option after meeting the coaches, and it was one of those things that I decided as a family that financially and I think socially it just made the most sense for me to come here and to be able to succeed.
I know everybody at home is awaiting the scatter report from our buddy Connor Onion here at the desk in Bradfield.
It'll come.
But we're going to go to the guys that actually get paid to scout the opponents, and in particular Colgate this weekend, as we look at the Third Down Chirp scatter report, preparing you for this Saturday afternoon's game, as we talk to offensive coordinator Joey Lynch, defensive coordinator Kevin Kelly, and defensive lineman Nick Miles, and wide receiver Kevon Maybon.
Guys are definitely ready to play someone else, and I think we definitely had a great fall camp. And always every fall camp when we get to the end of it, guys are ready to play a game and ready to sick of hitting the same people all the time. So we're definitely excited about this upcoming Saturday. They have a safety, number 18, is a really good player, and he's played a lot of football for him and has made a lot of plays. He had 6 interceptions last year, and you can just see he's kind of a ball hawk and does some really good things. And they got a couple returning guys up front that are solid players that really get after it, and quick guys that really fit their scheme with some of the movement things they're doing. And then their linebackers are active, and they do a good job of letting them play. And they're not real stagnant. They kind of move around and make plays. And they're definitely guys that we got to do, like I said, ID and make sure we're on the same page communication-wise to allow us to have success.
We're just going to stick to what we do. We're not going to do anything exotic just because it's a new opponent we haven't seen before. We're going to stick to the same old stuff that's got us here. I feel like we're really clicking now. We've had the whole camp to get everything straightened out, and at first it didn't really look that good, but now it's coming along just like we thought it would, and now I feel like we're great.
We just prep to, like any other week, just do our assignment, read our keys, play well with our eyes, and if we do that, we have a great chance to be successful. Well, we've always had chemistry, even last year when the guys weren't playing as much. We're all good friends. We all get along. We all communicate on the field, and I feel like that's carried over to this year. And as camp has progressed, we've all, continued to communicate more and just become more united as a group.
Yeah, they got a lot of starters back. They got 3 of their tight ends back. They have the running backs are back. The quarterback, 15, is a kid that.
There are so many stats and notes for a game that we don't even have time to go through them all here at this desk. So that's why we started a new segment here on Third Down Chirp, and that's why we have a 4th member. Yeah, we got a 4th member. We've been hiding him here off to our right.
Full house.
We're going to toss it over to the new member of the Third Down Chirp team this year, Torey Fox. Torey, welcome to the show, our good friend.
Thank you, Luke. With this segment, it's all about knowledge and the 3 facts that you need to know before kickoff. We're going to deliver that to you each and every week, starting with the fact that all we do is win. Did you know, according to footballscoop.com, Ball State is the only FBS school in the country to have increased its win total every year from 2010 to 2013. The Cardinals won 4 games in 2010, then won 6, then 9, and last year won 10. Next, how about wide receiver Jordan Williams? The junior from Indianapolis last season had 4 100-yard receiving games and actually was ranked 22nd in the country with 10 touchdown receptions. So do not write off the Ball State wide receiving core just yet. Without Willie Snead, Jordan Williams looking to have a very big season. And finally, it's Throwback Saturday for head coach Pete Lembo. Ball State and Colgate have never faced off on the football field, but Coach Lembo will be facing the team from New York for the 11th time in his career, dating back to his coaching days at Dartmouth and Lehigh. Lehigh, of course, being a conference rival of Colgate's in the Patriot League. So, gentlemen, Ball State looking for their first win against Colgate. Coach Lembo looking for his 7th.
It should be a lot of fun. We hope that Coach Lembo and the Cardinals can get that big number win that Torey Fox just talked about. It. How about Torey Fox, guys? He's always got those nuggets, those key nuggets for a broadcast that no one else could find. Torey does a great job.
I'm glad we added him.
It's all about knowledge with Torey Fox. It always is. It's fitting that he leads us off with that segment this season.
It is definitely fitting that Torey Fox leads us off with the big 3 things to know here at Third Down Chirp. Well, now it's time to go to our X Factors. We have been told that kickoff is fast approaching, so we got to finish our show here. So the last thing we are talking about is the X Factors. Those guys we need to be watching Saturday afternoon at Schumann Stadium. Tyler, let's start with you. Who is the player you're going to be watching in the Cardinal and White on Saturday?
Well, everyone right now seems to be focusing about the offense and the fact that they have to replace Keith Winning. It's the name of the game. 4 years go by, a new quarterback, new guys have to fill the role. But with that, build off your strengths. The strengths is the running game right now. You have an experienced offensive line. You have talented backs, all 4 of them coming back. Jawan Edwards, Horatio Banks. And that's why Horatio Banks is going to be my X factor for this week. And this guy had a rough second half of the season last year when you think about it from a personal standpoint, and the fact that he had to deal with the death of his best friend in high school, Demarius Reed, up at Eastern Michigan, a wide receiver that was tragically killed. Also, right before the Northern Illinois game, he tears his ACL. He's now back from knee injury, and he can be a nice complementary back to Jawan Edwards. And last season, when he was in full stride, he led the teams in yards per carry at just north of 6.
Well, I'm going to the other side of the ball. I'm looking at defensive end Nick Miles. The defensive line, they lose 3 pieces in Newsome, Ollie, and Cox. So Nick Miles being that returning starter, he's that guy that has to carry the load, at least in the early going. His success imperative to the defense throughout the season, but in particular to this game. Colgate runs a lot of read option, a lot of quarterback runs, so he has to remain disciplined. When quarterback Jake Melville squares to look to hand off to the quarterback in the read option, he has to remain disciplined, keep his shoulders square to the line of scrimmage. He can't be chasing the running back. He has to keep contained, play disciplined football so Jake Melville can't sneak out the back door and make plays with his legs.
And to kind of piggyback off of what Connor said, I think everyone's going to be watching Ozzie Man and the offense. That's just generally with college football. Everyone loves to watch the offenses put up the points, which is why my X factor is going to be on the defensive side and go with linebacker Ben Engle, a junior for the Cardinals. Engle is the centerpiece of that defense, had a great sophomore year a year ago. But more importantly, they're going to have to rely on that defense, I think, more than in the past usually. That offense, just because of a new quarterback, going to have new pieces on the offense. They will have help skill-wise at the wide receiver position, running back position, and the offensive line will be a strong part for Ozzie Man. But can the defense step up and provide those big-time plays? Ben Engle did that last year, as well as some guys like Jeffrey Garrett, but they're gone. So now Ben's got to be that leader for them as a junior role. And it'll be interesting to see how Ben and the defense can do this year. And that's going to be a huge factor. Can the defense be a factor? And against Colgate, a team that everyone's expecting you to beat this weekend, sometimes, guys, those are the games you worry about the most as a head coach.
Absolutely. You look at Illinois State last year, an FCS opponent to lead things off, and Ball State was losing at halftime. They're teams that you can't overlook, but it's also good to kind of shake off a little bit of the rust.
Well, I'll tie the knot between both your points. Your X factor, the Illinois State game last year. How about Ben Engle getting off to the right start last year? That interception, I'll always remember him sprinting down that far sideline and losing his helmet, and that really got the defense off on the right foot for the 2013 season. I expect him to do something similar this week against Colgate.
Maybe some deja vu. Maybe we'll see some deja vu Saturday afternoon for the Ball State Cardinals. Well, that's going to wrap up the first show of the year for Third Down Chirp, delivered by Papa John's. Have you heard of social media? Well, Ball State Sports Link is on social media. Just search BSU Sports Link on Facebook. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram as well. But there's also one more major thing as well. It's new this year for Third Down Chirp. It's a competition. We love competition, fellas, don't we?
Absolutely.
We do. Huge competition. and it's to win a nice, warm pizza
Especially
from
for
Papa
food.
John's.
I love competition for food. I've got an appetite.
So are we eligible?
That's it. We're gonna have to check on that.
We'll have to check with our producers, I guess.
We'll have to check to see if we can. If we are, we'll have pizza every week right here and just eat.
Connor and I will be
Pizza
taking
party.
pictures out of Schumann Stadium trying to win
the 3 keys
some.
is going to be the 3
win some
slices of
pizzas.
pizza as soon as we get a slice of pizza. But all you have to do is just do hashtag one team, one mission, which is obviously the Ball State football team's catchphrase this year, and hashtag chirp chirp. When you do those 2 things, you post a photo on Instagram, you do it on Twitter, you're going to have an opportunity to win a nice, warm pizza from Papa John's.
Well, one team here, I think our one mission is
Get
getting
that
some more
pizza.
pizza. Getting some more pizza.
Getting some
That's
more
all
pizza.
I want.
We need something here at Third Down Chirp to get more pizza. There's no doubt about that. Well, again, always a winner, though. Our winners are always our producers. A great job by Alex Seitz and Drew Adamson all week long, really preparing us to get this show off and rolling.
Not even all week long, all summer long.
All
They've been
summer
working gruesome hours getting this show ready, so I can't commend them enough for the job that they do.
So Drew and Alex, you guys are always winners there in the back. You're the ones that make us always good. So for my partners in crime, Tyler Bradfield, Connor Onion, as well as Torey Fox, I am Luke Martin saying so long here from the studios here at WIPB. We better see you at Schumann Stadium Saturday afternoon.